Just when you thought it was safe again to swim in the ocean, we come up with this list to fan the flames of your fears. Today we're going to be talking about 10 sea creatures that are extremely dangerous. Number 1 is something to watch out for, so stay tuned to find out just what that is. With all that said and done, let's begin, shall we? Number 10. The Stingray. Since the tragic accident of Steve Irwin, stingrays have gained a very unfair reputation. Yes, it does pack venom potent enough to cause fatalities, but they are far from common. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't be wary of these dangerous sea creatures at all. What I'm saying is, to give these creatures the respect that they deserve, that means keeping a safe distance from them all the time. Most stingray stings occur as a result of swimmers or waders treading on a ray in shallow, murky conditions during a rising tide. The ray is often motionless and partially buried in the bottom sediment. If stepped on, it generally thrusts the tail upward and forward in defense, sometimes forcing the spine into the foot or ankle of the victim. The spine may break free of the ray's tail and remain embedded in the victim, particularly if penetration is deep. Numerous small backward-directed barbs along the edges of the stinging spine make its removal difficult and very painful. It is recommended that sturdy footwear with ankle protection should be worn in areas likely to be frequented by stingrays. Before we move on, I've got a little challenge for you that'll take 5 seconds to complete. So here's the deal. You just leave a like on this video, smash that subscribe button and hit the notification bell, and you will get 25 years of amazing luck. Try it really works. Number 9. The flower sea urchin. Found singly or in groups often covered in detritus over rubble, sand, and seagrass beds or shallow bays, lagoons, and coral reefs, these beautiful sea urchins are extremely venomous, and getting stung by one can prove very fatal. Like most sea urchins, the flower sea urchin also has spines, in addition to triangular-shaped arms called pedicellariae. Common sense would make you believe that this creature's toxic venom would be found in the spines, so it should be safe to touch if you keep your hands well away from them. The thing is, it's not the spines that you should be wary of. Those triangular arms actually contain stinging appendages that attach onto one and inject venom. The venom affects the body in a number of ways, first by inducing extreme pain, then it interferes with the transmission of impulses between nerve endings, thus causing paralysis. Then it makes your muscles violently contract. I don't think I really need to say this, but these are all things that you don't want to happen to you during a dive. Number 8. The Stonefish. Stonefish are the most venomous of all fishes. They can be found in shallow coastal waters pretty much all over the world where they lie motionless, often partially buried in substrate and perfectly camouflaged among surrounding coral, rocky reefs, rubbles, or aquatic plants. The stonefish has 13 sharp, strong dorsal fin spines that are contained within a sheath of thick skin. At the base of each spine, there are 2 venom glands that discharge their contents along ducts in the spine. When disturbed, the fish erects its spines, but maintains its position on the sea floor. The people always get stung on the feet, obviously, and victims are usually swimmers or waders who have ventured away from clean sandy substrate and closer to the more complex bottom structure preferred by the stonefish. Due to the arrangement of the spines, 2 or more of them penetrate the victim's foot, allowing more venom to be pumped into the victim's body. The pain is immediate, excruciating, and may last for many days. Muscular paralysis, breathing difficulties, shock, and sometimes even fatal cardiac arrest. Anti-venom is available for stonefish stings, but it's always better to prevent the sting rather than curing it. When swimming in areas where they are known to inhabit, sturdy foot protection is a definite must. Number 7. The geography cone snail. You can't sometimes prevent yourself from touching the beautifully patterned shell of the geography cone snail. This is a large species of cone snail with a shell reaching out to about 120 millimeters long. Geography cones live on sand and rubble, under rocks and coral, in the intertidal and subtidal zones. But beneath their striking shells, there is a shocking truth. The cone snail has an incredible ability to detect prey swimming nearby. Once they recognize them, they use a needle-like growth from its mouth. It will inject a type of venom into its victim. This venom is highly toxic and has some pain-killing properties as well. When this venom gets into you, it causes paralysis. The painlessness of the sting is most dangerous since the victim will not even be able to detect it. These killing snails don't have humans on their to sting list, but it doesn't mean we're safe. They are a real threat to divers. In 2004 alone, around 30 human fatalities are reported due to cone snails. Number 6. The Rabbitfish. Ironic certainly sums up the story behind the name Happy Moment, which is the other name given to the rabbitfish. There are at least 2 species of rabbitfish in Australia that fishers refer to as happy moments, but this is not because the event of their capture is a particularly joyful or cheerful experience. Instead, they are so named to describe the several hours of excruciating pain that can follow being spiked by one of these relatively small and innocuous-looking herbivores. For both species, namely the black rabbitfish and the forked-tail rabbitfish, the spines of the dorsal and ventral fins are not only extremely sharp, they are also very venomous. While being spiked by these fish can result in severe to excruciating pain for several hours, dubbed the happy moment experience, fortunately the venom is not lethal or as toxic as that produced by stonefish or even scorpionfish. Number 5. The Crown-of-thorns starfish. The Crown-of-thorns starfish is a sea star named for the spines that cover its body and arms. The sharp spines on the sides of the starfish's limbs resemble thorns and create a crown-like shape, giving the creature its name. The thorns are very sharp and are capable of piercing through standard wetsuits and other clothing. They're also venomous. These spines are somewhat flexible in life and are used for locomotion and for defense from potential predators. The species is a well-known coral predator, and outbreaks of tens of thousands of individuals have been known to cause serious harm to coral reefs in some areas. However, they're not only dangerous to coral reefs, but to humans as well. The Crown-of-thorns produces a neurotoxin which can be released through its spines. Not only are the wounds themselves serious, but the neurotoxin can cause quite a sharp stinging pain that can last for hours, as well as nausea and vomiting. Frequently, the area around the wound turns a dark blue and begins to swell, which may persist for weeks. The spines themselves may break off and become embedded inside the skin. This can lead to infection and increased toxicity. Number 4. The Stargazer fish. Instantly recognizable by the horrified, woeful expression on their upturned faces, stargazers are among the most frightening fish in the ocean, capable of vacuuming up, electrocuting, and delivering deadly venom to their enemies. These three attributes are the reasons why the stargazer fish earned its nickname of the meanest thing in creation. The fish, named for the upward-facing eyes and gaping mouths located strategically at the top of their heads, are not much to look at, but their comical appearance belies a suite of deadly offense and defense strategies that make them surprisingly formidable predators. They spend most of their lives inconspicuously blending in with the ocean floor. Using their pectoral fins like shovels, they can dig beneath the sand and bury themselves in seconds, leaving only their eyes and mouth visible. There they lie perfectly still and wait for prey to swim by, before deftly stunning and overpowering their victims at lightning speed. For defense, they have two large spines on their backs that allow the fish to inject venom into potential attackers or a misplaced human hand or foot. They are also bioelectrogenic, meaning they are capable of producing electricity, like electric eels and just a handful of other fishes. A specialized organ behind their eyes allows them to deliver electronic shocks to predators. Number 3. The Bristle worm. Of the many species of worms, the bristle worm is one of the most dangerous. They are large, thick, spindle-shaped worms growing to about 200 millimeters long. They're easily recognized by their bright red gills, purple spots, and large conspicuous bundles of yellow, translucent bristles on each segment. Bristle worms are often found under rocks and corals in tropical areas throughout the world, but you've probably seen one already as they are quite popular among saltwater aquarium aficionados, but being a popular pet doesn't mean they can be handled carelessly. The bristles that these worms are best known for easily break off when the animal is touched. They can easily pierce the skin, causing a ton of issues including inflammation, burning, swelling, numbness, redness, and of course, mind-numbing pain. Fortunately though, bristle worm stings aren't fatal, but then again, especially if you encounter them in the wild while diving, getting any of these symptoms may result in something infinitely more tragic. Now it's time for the day's best pick. Today we feature an animal who has a notorious reputation of not only being dangerous alive in the ocean, but also dead on the shore. Find out just what it is next with number 2. The Portuguese man-of-war. Most people think that the Portuguese man-of-war is a jellyfish, a highly venomous jellyfish at that, but the fact is, it isn't. In fact, it's not even an it, but rather a they. The Portuguese man-of-war is a siphonophore, an animal made up of a colony of organisms working together. These organisms are so specialized in what they do, they can only do one thing. Some specialize in movement, some specialize in feeding, and of course some specialize in attack and defense. It's the animal's tentacles that you should be watching out for though. These long thin tendrils can extend 165 feet in length below the surface, although 30 feet is more the average. They are covered in venom-filled nematocysts used to paralyze and kill fish and other small creatures. For humans, a man-of-war sting is excruciatingly painful but rarely deadly. In the worst case, severe allergic reactions to the venom may interfere with cardiac and respiratory functions. But beware, even the dead man-of-wars washed up on shore can deliver a sting. Number 1. The blue-ringed octopus. Instantly recognizable by their iridescent blue rings, these little octopus spend most of their time hiding in crevices or camouflage against coral reefs of the Pacific and Indian Oceans. This one is also a returning champion from several of our lists. It's only when threatened that the blue-ringed octopus really lives up to its name and shows its true colors. Its skin becomes a bright yellow and the blue rings even more vivid, almost appearing to shimmer. Beautiful as this display might be, it's also a warning that this is one of the most dangerous animals in the ocean. What makes this octopus particularly dangerous is its venom. Known as tetrodotoxin, this incredibly strong neurotoxin is the same as that found in arrow poison frogs and pufferfish. At around 1,200 times more potent than cyanide itself, it's only the slightest nick from a blue-ringed octopus that can be fatal. In fact, many victims claim not to even have felt the bite itself. There is no effective anti-venom for a blue-ringed octopus, and the neurotoxin works by paralyzing the victim. The main danger is that it paralyzes the lungs, causing the victims to suffocate. Swift treatment is essential in serious cases, and this involves putting the victim on life support until the effects of the poison wear off and unassisted breathing is restored. Now, can you honestly say that you still feel safe swimming in the ocean? Let us know in the comment section down below. Want to watch more videos about amazing animals? Click on any of the videos you see on your screen. As always, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Later, everybody!